Coming to the next part, the components of DBMS. Data, hardware, software, and user. Basically, these are the major components of a DBMS. So, the data, basically a very important component of the database system. Most of the organizations generate and store, process large amount of data. The data act as the bridge between the machine parts, that is the hardware and the software, and the user, which directly access it or access it through some application program. Data may be of different type, the user data or the metadata. User data, it consists of tables of data that is called relation, where columns are called field or the attribute and the rows are called the records or tuple. A relation must be structured properly. Metadata means data about data. It is a description about it is a description about the structure of database system. Tables store metadata which include basic information about design of each table, data type of each field, and various constraints set on them. The second component, hardware. The hardware consists of secondary storage devices such as magnetic disk, optical disk, magnetic tape, etc., on which the data is stored together. It also includes the input-output devices like mouse, keyboard, scanner, printer, plotter, processors, main memory, etc., which are used for storing and retrieving the data in the fast and efficient manner. It is impossible to implement a database system without the hardware devices. In a network, a powerful computer with high data processing speed and storage devices with large storage capacity is required as a database server. Next component we have is software. The software part consists of DBMS, that is the database management system, which act as the bridge between the user and the database. All the requests from the user for access to the database are handled by the DBMS. It allows the user to interact with database to insert, delete, update, and retrieve the data. For performing these operations such as insertion, deletion, updation, we can either use the query language like SQL or the application software such as Visual Basic, Developer 2000, etc., and many more. Next component that we have is users. Users are the people who manage the databases and perform different operations on the applications in the database system. The users can be staff, clerk, managers, executives, application programmers, database administrators, and end users, etc. On the basis of the job and the requirements made by them, they are provided access to the database either totally or partially. Coming to the next part, the application of DBMS. The DBMS has a application in wide variety of area like banking, airlines, universities, telecommunication, finances, sales, and many more. In the banking sector, it is used for the customer information, account activities, payments, deposit, loans, etc. For the airline sector, it could be used for the reservation and scheduled information. For universities, it could be used for student information, course registration, college and grading regarding. For telecommunication, it helps to keep all the call records, monthly bill, maintaining balances, etc. For the finances, it is used for storing information about stock, sales, purchase of financial instruments like stocks and bond. Similarly, for the sales part, storing used for storing customer product and sales information. For the manufacturing part, it is used for management of supply chain and also tracking the production of items, inventory status in warehouses. The HR management area for information about employees, salaries, payroll, deduction, generation of paychecks, and other similar acts. Now, coming to the next part, that are the advantages of DBMS. DBMS provides a wide variety of advantages like minimized redundancy, elimination of inconsistency, sharing of data, data security, improved system flexibility, enforced standards, data integrity, providing backup and recovery. So, if we talk about minimized redundancy, the data in a DBMS is more concise because, as a general rule, the information in it appears just once. This reduces the data redundancy because redundancy is the problem of storing the same data item in more than one place. Redundancy creates several problems like requiring extra storage space, entering the same data more than once during data insertion, and deleting the data from more than one place during deletion. Minimizing the redundancy can therefore significantly reduce the cost of storing information on hard drive and other storage devices and wastage of time in entering the data again and again. Next, the elimination of inconsistency. In the file processing system, information is duplicated throughout the system. So changes made in one file may be necessarily be carried over to another. This may be leading to the inconsistent state of data. So we need to remove this duplication of data in multiple files to eliminate inconsistency. DBMS centralize the entire database so that changes once made are reflected to all the tables where a particular field is stored. Then, sharing of data. In paper based record keeping, data cannot be shared among many users, but in computerized DBMS, many users can share the same database if they are connected through a network. Another advantage, that is data security, we can restrict certain people from accessing the database or allow them to see certain portion of database while blocking the sensitive information. This is not possible very easily in paper based record keeping. Another advantage, that is flexibility of system, is improved. Since the changes are often required to content of data stored in any system, these changes are made more easily in centralized database than in the conventional system. Application programs need not to be changed on changing the data in the database. Another advantage, that is standards can be enforced since all the access to the database must be through DBMS, so the standards are easy to enforce. Standards may relate to the naming of data, format of data, structure of data, etc. Standardizing stored data formats is usually desirable for the purpose of data interchange or migration between the systems. The another advantage, that is data integrity. Accurate, consistent, and up to date data is a sign of data integrity. DBMS provides, or we can say the DBMS supports the data integrity, which means the data contained in the database is both accurate and consistent. Therefore, the data values being entered for storage could be checked to ensure that they fall within a specified range and are of the correct format. Moreover, the updates and changes to the data only have to be made in one place. The chances of making a mistake are higher if you are required to change the same data in several different places than if you have to make the changes only at one particular place. Another advantage, that is provides backup and recovery. Centralizing a database provides a scheme such as recovery and backup from the failure, including the disk crash, power failure, software error, which may help the database to recover from inconsistent state to the state that existed prior to the occurrence of failure through the methods which are very complex. Coming to the next part, that is disadvantage. There are certain disadvantages associated with DBMS, that is high cost, huge size, database failure, complexity, increased staff costs, cost of conversion, performance, and security threats. So, with the vast list of advantages, as we have seen, there are certain disadvantages or limitations of the database management system. The high cost. The high cost of the software and the hardware is the main disadvantage of database management system. The database user require a high-speed processor and huge memory to use the database on DBMS. Sometimes the user require costly machines for maintaining databases. Organizations need a trained and highly paid technical database administrator for using and maintaining the larger database systems. Huge size is another drawback. The size of the database is not big at the initial state, but when the user stores a large amount of data, then it creates many problems. Due to huge data, database systems do not provide good results and do not run efficiently. That's why size is another limitation to the database system. And database failure, which is another disadvantage of DBMS. In the database system, all the data or information of organization is stored in one centralized approach. If the database of that organization fails, then data is lost and organization will collapse. So database failure is also a big problem with the database management system. Complexity, adding to one of the another disadvantage. The database management system is so complex for the non-technical users, so it isn't easy to manage and maintain the database system. Thereby, training for the designer, user, and administrators is necessary to efficiently run the database management system. Increased staff costs also adds to the disadvantages of DBMS. The DBMS requires an educated and skilled staff for managing and maintaining the databases. So we need to spend a certain amount of money to get this level of trained and experienced staff. Also, adding to it is the requirement of a technical staff, as a non-technical people cannot understand the complexity of database, so the technical staff is required for maintaining and handling the database management system, thereby contributing again a disadvantage of DBMS. The cost of data conversion is one of the biggest disadvantage of DBMS system because the cost of data conversion is very high. This There is a requirement for trained, skilled, and experienced database administrator for converting the data smoothly. A major challenge or disadvantage is performance. The performance is said to be a big disadvantage in database system because the speed of database system for small firm and organization is very slow. Hence, the performance of database system in small organizations is very poor. So, that was all for today.